Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why your content probably sucks and how to actually fix it very quickly with understanding the 5 stages of customer awareness. Now if you already know this, you've probably not seen a spin on it like I'm going to show you right now, because this is specifically for service-based businesses based off what we've learned through scaling our coaching business to over 250 active clients with PB Academy, which was a B2C fitness coaching brand. This is different though. I want to show you in 2 different aspects. So one B2C and one B2B, which is what we do now. So the 5 stages of customer awareness is extremely important for you to understand, because if you're putting out content specifically for your business, aka the reason you're posting is because eventually you want to get clients from that content you're putting out, I want to show you what content you should be focusing on at which stage. I specifically prioritize and focus my efforts on the sales process, which is basically getting the person from when they're a lead to truly understand why you're the only fit for them to actually work with you to get the desired results they've actually got. So it's very quick and easy to understand. I'm going to get straight to it and explain to you first of all what the 5 stages are, give you a quick background on how we truly identify them, why we define them in the way we do, which is probably very different to what you've seen out there online. So if you're open to learning more, it's going to be worth you watching this video if you're a business owner, especially if you're a founder of a service business looking to remove or reduce your time on sales or sales calls themselves. And as a byproduct of doing this and understanding this with the slide deck we put together, which is called the Welcome Pack VSL, it's key that you don't understand what that is right now, because you'll understand it by going through this 5 stage and you'll recognize, and I'll explain to you, you're not at the stage that you need to be at. You're not product aware of what we do, which is good for this video. So this is what it is, right? Let me just write down the 5 stages first of all. We'll do a black pen. I haven't used the black pen yet. As you can see, I'm excited by these new pens. I know it sounds really nerdy when I say that, but it just seems so much better when you see it on the camera. Much thicker, you can read it a lot better. So anyway, we've got pain aware, right? So this is the first one, pain aware. And I'm going to give you quick examples. I'm sorry about my handwriting, by the way. It's not my specialty. But pain aware, right? This just means you understand the pain. So if you're a service business owner, you're a founder of a service business, it could be coaching, it could be an agency, it could be consultancy, whatever it is, you're probably involved in the sales process. Whether you call it a sales call, a consultation call, you initially speak to that prospect or that potential customer of yours before you work with them. The pain you've got right now is you own the business. You want to grow and scale the business, but you're probably still heavily reliant on being in sales calls, aka a part or most of your day, especially if you're scaling and you're growing fast, you've got a lot of leads, is probably getting on sales calls, consultations with people, and that's painful to you because you know to create a valuable business, you can't have key man risk, you can't be involved in that business. So your pain right now, I'm speaking to you, you will identify, this is the earliest stage in the customer awareness journey. You're like, how do I reduce my time on sales calls? How do I still get leads through the door? Is it a sales team? Do I need to hire a closer? Do I need to take more calls if I need to grow my business? How do I reduce my time on calls and still keep my close rate high? Or, ideal world, reduce my time on sales calls, increase my close rate. That's what we do, right? Eventually, you'll understand that with the Welcome Pack VSL. That's what it was when with the service we offer right now. The other service, where I learned all of my skills and knowledge around all this, in 10 years I've been doing this, when we were scaling PB Academy, we realized the pain people face as a fitness client, our ideal dream client was someone that wanted to get in the best shape of their life without following a strict bodybuilding diet. They wanted, as a man, they were young, they wanted to be ripped, they didn't want to be maybe bodybuilding type standard, massive and shredded. They just wanted to look incredible, the best version of themselves without having to follow the strict, boring bodybuilding lifestyle, right? So the pain they were facing right now, not getting results that they believe they should. They don't know how to get abs in to the level that they want them. They can't get as lean as they want to get to. They weren't getting the amount of muscle mass that they wanted to from the training that they were doing. Those were the pains they were feeling right now. So those are the clear pains. They might even have excuses or pains they're feeling, saying, I don't have time to do it. My work is taking over. I've got a lot of family commitments, life commitments, career commitments. I don't have time to do what the bodybuilders do to achieve that level of physique, right? That was the pains they were feeling. So we were speaking to them at the top of funnel content. The organic social media content was definitely covering, some of the posts were dedicated to covering that topic, okay? So not going to go into it too much more. But for your business, you need to be thinking, what's the pains that they feel right now? Not talking about the solutions you offer, the service you offer, nothing like that. You don't want to be trying to sell to them at top of funnel. You just want to be relating to them. So that whatever you put out there right now, I've already related to you on this video. If you're a founder of a service business, you're already feeling, I'm stuck on sales. I want to grow the business. I want to scale the business. I've got so many other responsibilities, but I'm still stuck in sales. This is a problem. And it's the hardest thing people find to remove themselves for. They know the importance of delegation to create a business, to create a company, but how do I actually get myself out of sales without lowering a massive, my close rate going all the way down to the floor, having a sales guy coming in, doing a terrible performance, terrible customer experience. How do we mitigate that, right? That's the pains, anyway, that they're feeling. The next stage, right, and this is my favorite thing to talk about, it's the problem, I say unaware, okay? Most people, this is where it's different to what other marketers will tell you, because they will tell you that this is problem aware, the next stage, and it's actually problem unaware. The reason I say that is because if we all were geniuses in business and we were able to figure out exactly what the problem was, we'd probably be far more likely to actually solve it, right? The problem here is on the next stage of the customer journey, most people don't know what the problem is, and they actually think that the problem is something different, okay? So they actually think that they've got a different problem, and then when they solve that problem, they realize, that wasn't actually the problem to begin with. So this content that you're going to be doing here is to educate them on the fact that you relate to them on this problem. So you're basically calling, I'll give an example. Better to give an example. So for yourselves, if you're a service-based business owner, you're a founder stuck on sales calls, you're trying to remove yourself or reduce your time on calls, the problem you think you have right now is that you're the key man risk, right? So you think, I need to hire a closer. Okay, so what happens when you do that? Your close rate goes to the floor because you've got the benefit of being the founder. You're the face of the business. You're probably involved in a lot of the content. You think the problem is I don't have sales guys running this for me. So you think hire closers. That's when that's the wrong problem, right? The problem is not that you need other people to be doing this for you. The problem is, first of all, you need a system in place, right? Which is where we get to the solutions. But this is what I mean about educating on problem unaware. So I'm saying to you, if you're the service-based business owner, you're trying to remove or reduce your time on calls, I'm going to say to you, I know you've been thinking about, potentially hiring a closer, potentially trying to just do more sales calls to scale the business. That's not the right solution to the problem you think you have, because the problem you're trying to solve there is the wrong one. Let's flip it to fitness, right? What we've done years of work with PB Academy. We've also got a gym, which is a separate business. The problem that people have is that they think, I need to be figuring out the right way to train, the right way to do the diet, the having more time available to train. That was a big one. People thinking they need to spend 3 hours in the gym. I would be making content to specifically say, you don't need to spend 3 hours in the gym. You don't need to follow this strict bodybuilding diet. That's not the problem you've actually got, which is when we then get round to the next stage of awareness of the customer journey, which is educating them on the actual problem that they actually have. So this is where we get to product aware, right? Or problem aware, sorry. So problem. So I hope this makes sense right now as well. The best way you can actually figure this out for yourself is, as I'm going through this, especially as I go through the examples after I've explained the point, you need to think of your own business, what you're trying to do, whether it's B2C, B2B. Think about how does this relate to you and your content. It's going to take time to really brainstorm it and go through it to really identify it. Sorry. So problem aware, okay? So this is when now you've actually pinpoint and labeled, which you would do on a sales call anyway, label the specific problem that they actually have and agree with them with content. This is the problem you have, and this is the problem you need to be thinking about solving. Alex Hormozi always says you need to focus on your biggest constraint and solve the biggest constraint. So you need to put all your resources into solving the biggest constraint, one constraint at a time, which is why it's key you identify the true problem as to what's causing this. So we would say, with our offer of the Welcome Pack VSL, for founders looking to remove themselves from sales calls, this is, by the way, the biggest asset that we found to remove myself from sales calls, reduce my time on sales calls, and increase our close rate, especially increasing show-up rates by doing this Welcome Pack VSL, which will be sent to someone before they get on a sales call. So from the moment they booked to when they get on a sales call. So the problem I would be educating them on here is, first of all, you need a system in place. You need a clear system of knowing when that lead books in a call with you, what are they being fed? What information are they being fed to make sure that they are as qualified and warmed up as possible when they get onto that sales call? If you're having to do all of the work on the sales call and pitching on the call, that's just not needed, and it makes the call feel really unauthentic. You want it to feel very authentic. You want it to be just you interrogating them, basically. And when I say interrogating, just asking questions. They should be doing the majority of the talking, all of the talking all the time. You should just be asking the right questions all the way through the sales call. At no point should you be pulling up a live pitch presentation one-to-one on a Zoom call to them. That's just, it's not unauthentic, and it's not the right way to do things, especially when you sell one-to-one. It just doesn't make sense, okay? And it makes people feel like you're just being salesy and you're selling to them. So I would be educating them. That's the problem here. You don't have a very professional welcome pack presentation that you've made, you've put together, you send to them before they get on a sales call. That's the problem you've got. You need to systemize all this. And by removing that chunk, by removing the pitch from the call, you now place the pitch before the call without obviously the final bit, which is the close, which is where you mentioned the price and the packages. Everything else from the usual pitch should be sent to them beforehand to make sure they're 100% qualified, they're warmed up, and they're ready to speak to you, which is when you then take the discovery phase on the call. So again, that's me giving you an example of how we make sure they're problem aware. This is the problem you need to solve. You don't have this process in place. You don't have this system in place. And this system alone, without you even needing to think about hiring sales closers, without you being able to think about trying to take more calls, first of all, you cut your call time in half. So even if you want to stay as the founder doing all these sales calls, you just need to create this welcome pack VSL, send it to every prospect. It cuts your time in half. And even if you want to eventually, then after you've systemized the sales process and made sure it's got a high close rate, then think about bringing in sales guys. But right now, the first problem you need to solve, especially if you don't want to hire a sales team and then realize their close rate is terrible, you're going to have to fire them. They don't make enough money. It causes you headaches. It's just going to be a disaster, terrible customer experience for the customers coming through. We've been there. We've done it. We've learned the hard way, right? So problem aware, making sure that they understand this is the problem you've actually got. Flipping it back to fitness again, I would be educating them here at this stage now on them truly being aware of the actual problems they've got. The problem you've got is that your weekends are out of control. It's not that you need to be on this strict bodybuilding diet 24/7. It's just that on the weekends you let yourself slip way too much. If you were to just be accurate with counting your macros, counting your calories, hitting your targets for the week, hitting your protein for the week, that would still get the job done. That's all you need. You can still enjoy your meals out. You can enjoy a drink now and again. You can enjoy a good life, right? That's possible, and we've done that because we had thousands of results with PB Academy, right? The second thing as well is with the training. We can do this in 45 minutes. If you want to do it 4 or 5 times a week, 3 times a week in some cases, because you are extremely busy, you can still get the job done provided you get enough stimulus from the sessions you're doing. And how do we do that? We really pick apart your training. We see videos of you, the sets you've done in the gym. We give you form feedback. We get more important than form feedback and technique feedback is always the intensity feedback. That's what we found as PB Academy. It's these guys, they think they're training hard. They're not training hard in the right way. They're not taking everything to failure. They can do less sets and get more from those less sets, spend less time in the gym, get better results, right? So that was the problem aware. That was the content we were putting out to make sure they understood these things, okay? And then the next stage is actually where you talk about the solutions. So let's go back to, this is number 4, solution aware, okay? So for solution aware, this is where now they've identified the true problem. So let's say, I'll give you an example of the B2B service we offer, which is the Welcome Pack VSL. They're solution aware. So they know, right, okay, I need to create this really professional pitch deck. I need to present it. I need to pre-record it as the founder so they're getting more time with me. Even if I eventually remove myself from sales calls, they're seeing me present to them our service and they really feel like this is exactly what they need, right? So this solution here is where we sell them on the fact that this is what they need. They need this Welcome Pack VSL. We give them more information as to why this works, the results it's actually going to get, if it suits them directly. This is the solution point, okay? The second one that I just went on there as well. So if we flip it back to fitness or PB Academy, I'm probably going to lose you now because I've rambled a bit. The solution aware for PB Academy was always making them aware of, right, how do we actually get all these things together? We've already mentioned what the problems are and how you potentially might want to look to solve them. You know now you probably need a coach that's experienced in this in this exact domain, and can they actually hold me accountable? Can they actually solve it for me? Can they check in with me weekly to actually make sure that I'm actually doing these things properly? This is where the solutions are out there. So it's a coach. It's not a training plan, because I need the feedback on intensity. I need the accountability. I need someone that's been there, taken loads of guys through this process before, that was stuck like me and able to get these results. It worked for our business. We worked with thousands of people, got thousands of results over 10 years. It was crazy. And at one point, we had 250 active clients, which is where we hit our peak with that business, where we had a full delivery team, full sales team, everything. So that was what was going on there. And that's what solution aware actually means. But at this point, it's very clear, right? Solution aware means they're not necessarily sold on you being the right guy. They know they need a coach. If they need a coach, that means they're out there in the market now. This is where Google ads come into play, because it's when people are starting to search for, I need a coach. Who's the best coach? They may be looking on Instagram, following people on Instagram, looking on YouTube, following people on YouTube, looking out there for the right person to solve this problem for them. Now, this is where the next stage comes in, and this is the green part, where you now really need to be on your best behavior to make sure you're covering all the things that they need to be product aware, right? And this is service-based industry specific. So I use the word product on purpose, because your service should be productized to some extent, especially if you have SOPs in place for your team to follow. Product aware basically means your service, your specific service that you need to be talking about to these prospects at this point with your content, okay? So product aware, let's give two examples again for B2B. With our service, there is nobody else out there that knows how to put together a welcome pack VSL. And this is a big statement, a welcome pack VSL in the way that we do, because we understand the psychological pillars that we take them through on each slide. So on average, our slide deck is going to be 14 to 18 pages long, 18 slides long. And every single slide is there on purpose to strategically move them through this phase initially. So even if they come to us and they're already maybe solution aware, in this 10-minute video, every slide is going to cover the pains they've got, the problem unawareness stage they probably went through to relate even further, the problem awareness stage they went through to relate even further, the solution awareness stage to relate to them on the fact that they've probably been looking out there at all these potential options of what they could do to solve this specific problem. Then the product awareness is when we really hit home that this is a unique offering that we've got, and we are the right guys to work with you because we truly understand everything you've been through, and then the results that you actually want, which is the next stage. You know, this is like 5 slides. We've got another, 14 slides to potentially go through to show them the exact reasons why they should be working with you specifically, case studies, social proof, everything, and a guarantee. If you want to chuck in something else, some sort of urgency tactic, that's going to be there as well, so they make a decision pretty soon and stop wasting time because they're just slowing down their own potential results. So product awareness is when you place yourself as the only unique option, and the only option they think of when they come to actually making a decision of when they take action to solve this problem. You're the guy they actually work with. So that's why this content is extremely important on what makes your service unique, why you're the right guy to solve their problem, okay? So flipping it back to fitness, PB Academy as well, because we've been there and we've done it. With PB Academy, what we would do on the Welcome Pack VSL is we would talk about the unique things they would get with us. Number one, we were a company that was operating. So obviously this was different when I was just starting off myself doing it, but the offerings I now had, because I had this leverage of having a team with me, we had different delivery coaches that focus on different aspects. So if you were, a different type of person, you would work better with a different coach. We had these options available for you. We had a community element to it. So every year we would have these big challenges where people would come down together. We would give away these big prizes. We give away a holiday to Marbella, a holiday to New York, like all these things we were able to do because we had leverage, because we had this team, we had this company. So we were able to offer a lot more than other coaches. We had more proof behind us, more results behind us, more of a guarantee. You either get results, you get your money back. We were so confident in what we were doing. So that was the specific product awareness content we were putting out there that would make people choose us instead of choosing just another local coach that is probably going to mess them back 3 days later, be late on their check-ins. It's a side hustle for them, so they're not going to get the best results. Whereas this is all we do every day. Our main focus is getting you results. Like our reputation relied on them getting good results, word of mouth spreading, stuff like that. So that was the difference there. So the reason I'm saying this to you right now is because, number one, on your social media content, if you're doing organic content, different with paid ads, but still the same thing. You need to be covering all these aspects. So if you think about it, let's say you've got a framework for 10 different posts, yeah? And you cycle this every 10 posts. So every 10 posts you put out, let's say you do 30 posts a month. Every 10 posts, you should be making sure that you are covering these at least twice. So there's five different posts here. You need to make sure that you're covering them at least twice with your organic social media content. With paid ads, completely different. Top of funnel stuff, you want to be focusing on pain aware, problem unaware, maybe potentially problem aware. Then middle of funnel stuff, you could probably be talking about solution aware. So you're relating to them a lot more on what they're looking out there on the market. And then bottom of funnel is when you're slamming home, this is what you need. You need to work with me. And then giving some sort of like urgency, promotions, deals, guarantees at these points here to make sure they click that button and they work with you, they apply to work with you. Now, when it comes to the Welcome Pack VSL, like I said, this is the very first part of the Welcome Pack VSL that they're going to actually come on to. So when they book that call, they watch the Welcome Pack video, the first few minutes of the video is going to be making them feel like going through this process, we truly understand the pains they've been through, the problems they've thought they have, the problems they now know they have, the solutions that they know is out there, and then eventually it's coming back in the next couple of minutes. This is why you need to work with us, because we know everything about you. We know how to solve it. We've done it before, and we can make sure that you reduce your time on sales calls. You get a better close rate. You can eventually remove yourself from sales, hire a sales team, make sure the close rate is still high, operationalize the whole thing, systemize it all, and then you've actually got a business. You're no longer just self-employed in your own business. You're now running a business, and you're able to scale the business. There's no constraint in that sector anymore. So that's what the Welcome Pack VSL is all about. If you want to check out the Welcome Pack VSL, there's a link below. It gives you the full framework, so it's a free download. You get the full framework, you understand it a little bit better. Obviously, we offer it as a full done for you service as well, where we build everything out, build the script out. You literally film the whole thing, we edit it, we put it together in a done for you sales asset within 28 days. And immediately as you apply this into your business, we know for a fact that you will increase your close rate, reduce your time. The call time will have to reduce because you're removing that pitch. So that 10 to 15, 20 minute pitch from the call is removed completely. So I hope this makes sense. If you're running a service-based business, this channel is all about helping you scale as we scale ourselves. So make sure you subscribe, come along the journey, and I'm just documenting the whole thing. But hopefully this is something you've learned new. If you have learned this and it's new to you, comment below, let me know anything you want to see, any questions you've got. Yeah, thank you, and make sure you subscribe.